What's up, YouTube? This is Hydro Racer 164. I'm going to show you the easy way to clean out a motor and store it for the winter time. So I've already taken off the head button and the cooling head. This is actually a motor for a boat. As you notice that this carb doesn't have a main needle or a low speed needle on it. That's because in boats we use the third channel needle. It's got the main needle, and then we can adjust that on the fly with our remote. I think some car racers use it. I never did when I raced cars, but that was 10 years ago, last time I raced a car. But we don't use them. We use the third channel needle. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take off the back plate. I'm going to show you guys what I do. So I'm going to just use my drill. I'm going to take these off since they're a flathead screwdriver. This is a Nova Rossi. This is actually an old Nova Rossi. This model is from, I think, 2004 or 5. And yes, it still runs. Still runs good. That's because it was broken the right way, and it's always been taken care of. If you take care of a motor, it'll last a long time. And you break it in the right way, it'll last a long time. Some of these idiots on here, seen a video the other day of some fool that he just started the motor and he set it off to the side and let it run. Well, you can't do that. These motors need heat, and they also need cooling at the same time. They need the heat so that the piston and the sleeve expand together. That makes a nice tight fit, and that'll help give you the best compression that you want. But anyways, I'm going to shoot some WD-40 through this motor. I'm going to shoot some on the bottom here. And I'm going to put the piston all the way to the bottom. Shoot some more in there. Shoot some in here. I mean, you want plenty. I seen another video where the guy put like a little bit of squirt of WD-40 in there. You want to make sure that you get enough WD-40 through there as you can. Because if not, it's not going to clean the nitro out. Nitro is just going to sit in there, and it's going to accumulate water, and it's going to rust out everything on the inside, and then you'll have a shit motor come springtime. So I'll put that through there. WD-40. I'm going to take some of this Corrosion X. This is some of the best stuff that they got out there. This will definitely help prevent any kind of rusting in anything. Military uses this stuff. This stuff is actually really hard to find, and the only place we find it is at we go to the boat races. I don't know where they get it. I've never seen it in the stores, but I always get tickets for the drawing, and I always win this stuff. I got like 3 other cans of it that works great, and I use it in the summertime. I use it on a lot. So we just spray some of that in there. Spray some in the top with the piston down. And we'll spray some more. Ooh, my carb must not be open. Oh, it's open. So we'll spray that in there. Kind of turn it over a few times by hand. And we're going to close it up. And then I'm going to shoot some more WD-40 through it. And then I'm going to shoot some ATF fluid in there. And then we're going to put it in a bag and ziplock it and put it away. So, alright, so when you put this on, make sure, this is a Nova Rossi, they all have a groove in the back plate. Make sure that that faces up towards the head button. Put that on. Put your screws back in. All 4 of them. This is a very old motor, and it's a great motor. This thing is strong. It may not be as fast as some of the new Nova Rossies that are out there, but it'll still keep up just because it's been well maintained and taken care of. And I change the bearings almost every 2 years in them. Sometimes the bearings need changed after a year or so, but that's because we run wide open. It's not like a car where, you know, you're on the throttle and off the throttle. A lot of the cars, they use a slide carburetor. We don't. We use the old-fashioned rotor carbs. I have made boats with slide carbs in them, but I just don't care to do it. And there's no point because we're wide open throttle all the time, so don't really use them. So we'll go ahead and put the head button back on here. Make sure that your holes line up. And we'll go ahead and put the cooling head back on. Put these back in, the screws. When you put these back in, like if it's, you know, springtime, make sure you Loctite these because they will come out. I don't know if the boys in cars do it, but I used to. It works, keeps them from coming out. So do that. I'm gonna just use my drill again. Drill them back down. I'm going to take out the glow plug. I'm going to shoot some ATF fluid in there. I use a 5/16 wrench. You can use a glow plug wrench, but I really don't care for them because they don't fit in this hole right here. There's a different head, so sometimes they don't always fit. So, get that. Sure you get your O-ring out of there too. A brass O-ring that helps seal it down. These are O'Donnell glow plugs. O'Donnell makes fuel and glow plugs. These are some of the best glow plugs I've ever used. This one has been in here all summer. Usually when they start to they'll pull out, but when they pull out, sometimes that means your motor's running good, but it's advancing the timing on it too. And sometimes when it starts advancing the timing, your boat will run a hell of a lot faster. And I've had boats where you, like car guys, you can hear a motor get on the pipe. You know, it's got that different change to it, like it's hitting a different gear. I've actually had my rigger hit the pipe twice, where it sounds like it's shifting in the second, and then it'll go into like a third gear, and the thing is just screaming. It's actually kind of cool. I've only seen one other guy do that, and his name was Don Ferret, and that was at a race in Mendota last year, and his mono would get on the pipe, and then about a quarter way down the front stretch, it would hit another, like it was hitting a third gear. It was pretty impressive to watch that boat. It was a pretty fast boat, and he won. So now we're going to put some ATF fluid in there. You could use like Marvel Mystery fluid, whatever, but I always use ATF, and I make sure I put plenty of it in there. That'll help with everything. Don't worry about getting the oil all over. That'll just help keep shit, you know, good to go while it's sitting in a bag. But I usually do that, twist it over by hand. There's a lot in there, but it don't matter. Put the glow plug back in. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the starter once. Kind of make sure all that stuff is around there. Don't tighten the glow plug all the way down. Go ahead and hit it with your starter. Just make sure all that stuff is floating around in there. And she should be good to go. She's pretty oily on the inside. Put your cap back on. Make sure your glow plug is all the way down. Put these tools up. And we're going to grab a plastic Ziploc bag if you got them. Put it in there. This one's already got oil in it. It don't really matter. Like I said, the oil is going to help it either way. Put it in there and wrap it up. Keep her nice and tight. Wrap her up again. And then I always take rubber bands. Take your rubber bands. Keep her on there like that. That would keep it nice and tight. Keep all that oil in there. And you shouldn't have any problems if you maintain your motor just like that. You maintain your motor, keep it going, clean it out after every run, break it in properly. I usually take about at least a gallon. You know, I go 4 tanks rich, and then I start leaning my motors out. One 1/16 at a time, very little. Your motor will let you know when it's ready to run, because it'll start coming loose. It'll start getting on the pipe and then falling off, getting on the pipe and falling off. That's kind of a sign that she wants to go. So, you know, make sure you break them in the right way. Don't look at some of these videos where these idiots are just fucking starting them and letting them sit. That's not the way to do it. You don't want to do that. I watched a video of a guy the other day, started 2 cars, brand new, let them sit. And people were, oh, this is a great way to break them in. No, that's not a great way to break them in. You're going to be disappointed in a couple months because it's going to either break or it's not going to run no more. You're going to blow the piston through the top because you didn't fucking break it in properly, didn't give it enough heat. Now it's overheating. But anyways, this is the fast way to clean a motor. Lube her up and then put her away for the winter time. Hope this video helped. We'll talk to y'all later.